Hi everybody, I'm Mike Young. I'm with Thunderbird Real Estate and I'm also a short sale expert. It wasn't what we started out to do, but that's kind of what the market has turned to recently. And I'm the last speaker before we open it up to questions again. And so I'm going to try to go through fairly quickly. Now in a short sale, there's two different sides to it. There's a real estate side, which I deal with, and there's a more of a financial side, which we have Natalie to deal with. But I'm going to cover the real estate side and also just a little bit about why it might make sense as one of your options to do a short sale. Number one is the borrower is able to get out of a house that they can't afford. I mean, obviously, none of us would have originally bought a $400,000 house and gotten a $650,000 mortgage. That was not our intent. That basically happened with events outside of our control. So when people talk about getting out of their house, you're also getting out of a huge debt. And that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. If you were to even be successful in getting a loan mod, for 99% of those loan mods, you're still going to have that principal far outpacing what the house is actually worth. So if any time in the next few years you need to get out of that house, you're still going to be faced with the same situation. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. As has already been pointed out, you're also going to be able to qualify for a new mortgage in 2 years, as Hannah pointed out. You're not going to have any foreclosure on your record. And as Natalie pointed out, you're going to negotiate your second loan or HELOC. You have that opportunity to negotiate that debt down or get rid of it completely. So there's a reduction in debt and stress, and you get to move on with your life. The cons, as Bob was talking about, in certain situations, you're going to have a tax liability. You could also have, in certain situations, a bank pursuing you beyond taking your house for additional funds that you owe. So in many cases, you're going to be faced with that same situation in foreclosure, but that is something that you need to keep in mind and why it is really important to consult professional advice from a tax advisor and an attorney. If you do settle on a short sale as your strategy going forward, why does a real estate agent matter? The sad truth is that national average, only about 23% of these short sales are successful, meaning that the bank takes your offer, the buyers stay in place, and the whole thing comes to a conclusion. However, with experienced short sales, your experienced short sale agents, your chances improve dramatically. I remember my first short sale, which was about 3 years ago. I stumbled through it myself. I called the bank and I went through the whole thing that I hear every day from other agents, which is, how come they don't call me back? I mean, I've been talking to them for months, and I just couldn't understand it. And I heard the same thing that you hear now. They've got 200 files on their desk. They're just going to respond to whatever's the hottest thing they can do. But what I say is, don't be your agent's learning curve. This is not the transaction to give to someone who is not experienced in short sales. It's a completely different specialty, and it's good to seek someone with experience in this area. And this is just a quick scenario, so bear with me real quickly. It's like, how many parties are involved in a typical real estate transaction? You got your agents for both sides, seller, buyer, buyer's lender. And that's pretty much it. Okay, how many in a short sale? It becomes infinitely more complicated. Here we are. We've got still got your agents, still got your buyer and seller, and we've also got both the short sale lenders, your first, your second. You've got the mortgage investors behind both of those people. You've got tax and legal advice for the seller. So you really have a whole host of people in there that you wouldn't normally have in a normal transaction, which is why I am really thankful that I've got Natalie as my secret weapon, because she takes this whole side of it. She deals with the lenders, she deals with all this, and I just am able to concentrate on the seller, representing the seller the best way I can, dealing with the buyer's agents. One thing that we also run into, because these transactions do take so long, is sometimes it's the second set of buyers or the third set of buyers that we actually end up selling the house to.